What's up, witches?
What's up?
I'm Linda,
And I'm John.
and this is Getting Witchy.
Salud.
Salud. And today we are talking about the differences between Ostara and Easter.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who are more on the pagan path, you know that Ostara happened earlier this month. Usually it happens March between the dates of the 19th and the 23rd. It usually changes each year, but it is the celebration of the spring equinox, which is one of the 2 times of the year that light and dark are in perfect balance.
Yeah, what was the other time again? I know we did one for it.
Mabon,
Which is
the vernal equinox.
June, right? Is that
September.
September? Hey. If I can look it up in a book, I don't need to commit it to memory. Albert Einstein said that.
However, if you are in the southern hemisphere, now would be Mabon, or at least Ostara would have been. Ostara in northern would have been Mabon in southern.
Gotcha.
They're flipped. But anyway.
They're weird like that.
Well, because their seasons.
I know,
are
I'm
totally
just messing
different.
around. I know I'm going to piss somebody off.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so, Easter. Saint Betty, I know, Bede.
Bede.
From, well, he's a 6th century author who wrote, the name is rather lengthy, about a half a mile long, and in Latin, but in English it is the ecclesiastical history of English people. Why don't they just call it our time colonizing the world? Anyway, he maintains that the English word for Easter comes from, it's Eostre, which is pronounced either Esther,
No. Estra
Istra, or
Or
Ustra. Okay. In effect, it's still the same. It's the goddess of spring.
who the pagan people knew as Ostara.
There is also an attempt by some historians to discredit the pagan roots of Easter, just like Christmas and many others, by saying that the word is derived from albis, A-L-B-I-S. In albis, a Latin phrase that's plural for alba.
Which is the dawn.
So it's plural form. Anyway, that became Estrarium.
Estarum.
Okay. Thank
Or
you.
Ustarum.
In Old High German, which, of course, the English language is German, French, and Latin. But, yeah, I don't buy into that. And despite what, I used to love Britannica.com, well, Britannica encyclopedias, but Britannica.com claims that to state that Easter has pagan roots is suspect at best.
Well,
And then proceeds to, discredit the pagan history of it. But then, 2 paragraphs later, talks about pagan things.
well, yeah.
And talks about how, which we'll get into. But anyway, Easter, as we know it, is also called Pascha, which is Greek for Passover, or Resurrection Sunday, a Christian festival or holiday and semi-cultural holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus, or, well, I mean, I'm sure you guys don't know that's his name. His actual name was Joshua. that's his given name, his birth name, and, well, the history of the name of Jesus Christ, or him being given that name, is rather long and drawn out too. But so commemorating the resurrection of Yahshua from the dead, described in the New Testament as having occurred on the third day of his burial following his crucifixion by the Romans on Calvary in 30 AD. Easter Sunday and related celebrations such as Ash Wednesday and Palm Sunday are considered movable feasts. Like, they can be at different dates.
They change dates each year.
Right. Although in Western Christianity, which follows the Gregorian calendar, Easter always falls on the Sunday between March 22nd and 25th. Now, something I find rather interesting about that fact is that, let's see, where did it go? Sorry, guys. I got this mixed up a little bit.
Are you talking about the determination of when Easter falls?
So, following the Council of Nicaea in 325, it was decreed that Easter should be observed on the first Sunday following the first full moon after the spring equinox. That doesn't sound like a very religious reason. That sounds pretty pagan, actually. You're following astrology and the cycles of the moon to have your holiday. But hey, whatever works for you.
The reason they did that
is so it would always be on Sunday.
Well, yes, because the early Christians did not want to have it on a set day of the year like we do Christmas, because their businesses would be shut down. And if it happened to land in the middle of the week, like, you're losing money in the middle of the week.
And in most businesses, and some places even still today, small towns in America, everything freaking shuts down on Sunday. Everything shuts down on Sunday. So they were already closed.
Right. So having it close on the Sabbath was okay.
Right.
But having it shut down in the middle of the week was not.
I just think that's an interesting determination for when to have a Christian holiday.
Right. Especially considering that there were some scholars who did the math and went looking through the Bible and found 2 instances that indicated when Jesus was on trial and executed, and basically determined that his date of execution was April 3rd, 33 AD. So, if we were to continue that tradition, basically Easter should be happening April 6th of every year.
Right.
But it's not. It's a sliding scale anywhere between March 22nd and April 25th, but it's all dependent on astrology.
And it also depends on what denomination of Christianity you're talking about. Right. There are some denominations of Protestant Christianity that Easter Sunday marks the beginning of Eastertide, just like Yuletide. I love how they love tide. Not the pods. Don't do it. I thought that was kind of funny. Sorry, you didn't.
I think tide just means like time,
Yes, I know, Easter time,
yeah.
Christmas time. I was Tide Pods.
Yes,
the idiots that were eating Tide. Okay.
Yeah, we're not talking to Gronkowski here, okay?
Okay. Eastertide ends on the 50th day after Easter, which is known as Pentecost Sunday. In Eastern Orthodox branches of Christianity, Easter Sunday serves as the start of the season of Pascha, which ends 40 days later with the holiday known as the Feast of Ascension.
Whoa. The Feast of Ascension is held 40 days after Easter?
Yes. Based on if you're Eastern
Orthodox. But he was only dead for 3 days.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, these are...
I just live here.
Yeah, sure. Let's go in dark. The earliest recorded observance of an Easter celebration comes from the 2nd century, though it is widely believed that there were celebrations or commemorations of Easter before that, but nothing recorded or documented until this time in the 2nd century.
Well, I find that kind of interesting that the earliest recorded observance of an Easter celebration
200 years after he's dead.
Well, yeah.
And ascended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wait so long?
Well, I mean, one thing that people overlook, the original Christians were Jews. They celebrated Passover. That's what the Last Supper was. They talk about the Last Supper as being the Last Supper, but nobody ever... I remember going to church. It was never, ever, ever mentioned. I'm Baptist, Catholic, Mormon. I mean, First Baptist, because they're different, Baptist and First Baptist. It was the First Supper. No one ever mentioned that it was actually Passover. He was there to celebrate with his disciples. That was the Passover meal.
Except that there are those two mentions in the actual Bible, and I need to look them up to remember what they were. But that's what those scholars were using when they did the math to figure out when exactly it was that he died.
They used Passover because
that's
what they were celebrating.
Because it was the day before Passover that he was tried and executed.
Yeah, but he was commemorated. That's what the last meal was Passover.
But nobody ever mentions it.
Which brings to mention the Lamb of God. They have lamb at Easter. That's one of the main... I mean, it's a little rich for my blood at this, or anybody's blood at this point.
We always had ham.
Yeah, but lamb is a big meal, apparently, for Easter. And he is the Lamb of God,
the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, lamb is what most Israelites would sacrifice on the altar. The burnt offering would be lamb. And the coming of Jesus, or Joshua, excuse me, eliminated the need for sacrifice.
Anyway. True.
All right, so there are some very recognizable, I'm just going to touch on them briefly because, you're going to talk about...
Ostara.
Thank you. I'm trying to put it, I was trying to think, okay, should I say Esther? What was the other one? Ustra or Istra? I couldn't think of the two ways to pronounce it. Anyway, hey, I'm tired. It's been a lot. And for all of you that did last minute Easter shopping this freaking morning, you suck. Okay? And coming into the store and saying, "Oh, I didn't think you guys would be open today." We wouldn't be if you didn't show up. Just imagine that. If you didn't do your last minute shit at 6 a.m. buying Easter baskets because your ass was too lazy to do it before that, we could have Easter off. Thank you very much. Anyway, obviously one of the most... Sorry, I had to have that little rant because it's freaking true.
It is true. So he and I both work retail. And I kid you not, out of the 150, 200 customers I had today,
2/3?
90% of them mentioned how surprised they were that we were open today.
If you wouldn't come, we wouldn't be open. And corporate would get the signal.
And of those 90%, probably 40% of them
were buying Easter shit.
Well, no, 100% of them were buying Easter stuff, but 40% of them were doing the faux apologetic, oh, I'm so sorry you have to work on Easter.
If you didn't show up, I wouldn't have to fucking work.
And there were a couple times where I basically just said, hey, I get paid either way, whether you're here or not.
I had somebody
'Cause I'm
ask
here.
if they could get the Easter stuff on a 50% discount.
Not until tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I said. No, it's still
Not till
Easter.
tomorrow.
Anyway,
So, moving on.
One of the most, that's our little rant for the night. One of the most recognizable symbols, obviously, of Easter are eggs. Now,
So how do those tie into Jesus
yeah,
and his resurrection?
yeah, but it's not a pagan thing. I'd love. Britannica was going into that about the Easter egg, and it was because it was a symbol of fertility.
Yeah.
And birth, and how they equated that to rebirth, not really sure, but yeah, it's pretty funny, sad but funny. So this practice can be traced back to the ancient Babylonians. So we're talking about something 6,000 years ago. They believed that an egg fell from heaven into the Euphrates River and hatched the goddess of fertility. Now, obviously, that's basically an oval spaceship that landed in the water, and
she emerged.
She came out of the spaceship. I mean, if you think about it with modern thinking. But they believed an egg fell from heaven into the Euphrates River and hatched the goddess of fertility. Ashtar, Ishtar, Astar,
and Eostra.
And yes, so they exchanged eggs as gifts during their springtime festival, as a goodwill gesture, and because most people work the land in some way.
Yes.
So, as I hope your land is fertile type of gesture. Interestingly, at some point in history, I believe it was the Roman Catholic Church, forbade the eating of eggs during Easter. Yeah, it's some weird shit like that. So the eggs during the Easter tide became holy, if you will, and they were exchanged as gifts because they couldn't be eaten. So the kids started coloring them. Yeah, it seems kind of retarded, but like you're wasting an entire. You've got a whole week's worth or whatever, 40 days, 50 days of eggs being laid that you can't do anything with.
Right. And nowadays we just have Easter egg colored egg salad.
Ew. Yes,
What?
I remember. Yes, I remember having that. Fucking green and blue and orange and fucking pink
I love
eggs
that.
in the. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, today eggs are painted in bright colors and used in the ever popular Easter egg hunt, where they're hidden for children to find and collect. Of course, now we also use a lot of plastic eggs. Great for the environment, by the way. However, on the flip side, if you don't find an egg and your parents don't remember where they put all the eggs, you won't find it 4 weeks later because it stinks up the whole fucking house. Which is what happened to me one year.
Oh, there was one year.
Oh my God, it was like a fucking dead body was in the house. Because it got cracked somehow.
Oh.
Anyway,
yeah.
You were saying?
So on the topic of the plastic eggs, Chase's first Easter.
It's our oldest.
Yeah, my oldest son. His father and I took him out to Chicago because their family has this big, huge family get together on Easter.
Okay.
We actually saw a couple squirrels take off with a couple of the plastic cakes, and they had money in them.
Oops.
Yep. But yeah. So.
Yeah. Interesting. So they probably used it for stuffing and to
well, assuming they even knew what it was.
Well, once they busted it open, they would use it for filling in the
well,
nest.
Yeah.
Another popular Easter symbol is, of course, the Easter bunny. Now, like eggs, rabbits represent spring season and fertility because,
they multiply like
rabbits.
rabbits.
The Easter rabbit tradition actually originated. I mean, Reagan was a good president.
I thought okay.
In a pagan festival of Ostara, represented by the northern goddess who was associated with the rabbit and hare, Norse goddess, actually. And we talked about her in a couple episodes ago.
Yes, we did.
But also a German thing. But when it was brought over here from the German immigrants in the early, or late 1800s, because the early 1900s was the Irish, I think, and then before that was the Germans. But the German rabbit is basically a frickin' jackrabbit. Mm. That thing, I mean, it would stand this frickin' tall, like fucking 2-3 feet, just sitting, like not even standing up on its hinds. You know what I mean? It just so that didn't seem very fluffy and bunny enough. So they just made it the rabbit, just the pet rabbit.
Oh,
yeah. But
like
originally it was that lanky frickin' scary ass fucking. What was his?
Hair.
Hair. Yes, thank you.
Mm. We happen to have our own little Easter bunny.
I'm making a mess.
There's a little bunny that likes to come into our yard and partake of our weeds.
Foliage. Unfortunately, or fortunately, our cat is not fast enough for him. Mm. We try to prevent him from going out there when the rabbit's there, or block him from fucking with the rabbit or seeing him, because we don't want him to stop coming around.
Right.
Anyway, then there's the white lily, also connected with the holiday, sometimes known as the Easter lily. Lilies are associated with purity and resurrection. How are they associated with resurrection? I should have looked that up. They're a bulb, aren't they?
They are.
Ah, then that's how.
Because they're a bulb?
Yeah, because the it'll die and then the bulb.
Oh, yes.
Come back.
Yes.
One legend says that lilies grew in the garden of
Gethsemane.
Gethsemane. What?
Gethsemane.
Why did they why do you need 6 syllables in one fucking word? It was 5, I know. Whatever. Where apparently Christ prayed before his death, before his turning over to the Romans and then crucifixion. Other symbols for Easter, for the Easter season, include crosses. Well, but I still don't.
Because that's what he was killed on.
Yeah, I know that, but as I mentioned earlier, having been a part of the LDS Mormon Church, I asked them once, why does nobody wear a cross? Because I, going to Catholic and Baptist and all that. I'm like, well, if you were out with your friend and someone attacked you and your friend interceded and was stabbed with a knife and killed, would you wear a knife around your necklace to commemorate it? That kind of made sense to me. Even though I still don't, adhere to their, I don't buy into their faith. That made sense to me. So the fact that crosses and crucifix are a direct connection, don't get it. But anyway, chicks.
As in baby chickens.
Yeah. Sure. If that's your thing. But yes, chickens or chicks. As a symbol of springtime and the rejuvenation and rebirth birth of animals.
Mm-hmm.
And then palm branches, which I don't get the palm branches really for either Easter or Christianity. I mean, I get Palm Sunday, and supposedly he came into the city on a donkey, and they laid palms. Yeah. Okay.
But it doesn't have to make sense, but that's the whole significance.
Okay. But again, what do any of these really have to do with the Christian resurrection? Nothing, really. I mean, eggs, rabbits, chicks.
Yeah, those were all
pagan symbols of fertility.
Yes.
All of them. Pagan symbols of fertility.
Yes.
But it's not a pagan holiday.
Well, no, because Ostara is. Which is the actual spring equinox.
Yes. Easter, like Christmas, accumulated a lot of traditions, some of which have little to do with the Christian celebration of the resurrection, but are derived from folk customs.
But again, it's not a pagan holiday.
For instance, the custom of an Easter lamb, as we were talking about earlier.
Right. Christ was the Lamb of God who was sacrificed
takes away the sins of the world.
Yes.
And then there's, again, the lamb's role in
Israel.
Ancient Israel and their
the whole Passover.
Right. I mean, they put the blood of the lamb over the door so the angel of death would just pass over the home.
Right. During the whole 10 plagues of Egypt.
Right.
Nonsense. I mean, not nonsense, but, that whole deal.
Yeah. Hey. But yeah, so depending on your faith, whether it be Lutheran, Protestant, Catholic, which, by the way, in my research I found that the whole Inquisition, it wasn't just about witches in Europe. They were eliminating everybody, including other Christians that weren't Roman Catholic.
Imagine that.
Interesting, huh? I didn't know that in my 56 years. I thought it was just about witches and, when pagans in general. But they were actually killing other Christians because they weren't Roman Catholic.
Right.
And people ignore the history. It didn't happen. Anyway, sorry, I have issues with that. I was never an altar boy, thank God. I had my own issues with a stepdad and an uncle. Didn't need a priest doing it too. Anyway, I digress badly. Sorry. So, that is the current state of Easter and what we believe in, or some believe in. And, on top of that, forget the whole pagan aspect. How about how commercialized it's become?
Everything's become commercialized.
Dude, though, look. Peeping it real. Okay, there's a joke behind that, which is why she's wearing it. They have these giant freaking peeps at the store that we work at, and last year, someone was returning to, you know, those fucking things are like $35 freaking dollars. Mm-hmm. Someone was returning a couple of them, and the person training, because I had only been at the return area up like a couple of months at that point, so I was still once in a while the person that was training me would still kind of hover, and I didn't know she was hovering like right freaking here. I could almost feel her freaking breath, but didn't. So I had the peep in my arms, and I turned and I hit her in the face. So I assaulted her with a peep. And that is the running joke of the store now. Or at least the front end. And, of course, I shared it with my love. And she did that.
And I took it and ran with it.
Anyway, but, like, fucking dresses with little peeps. Mm-hmm. For little girls. It's cute, but is it necessary? No. You're literally going to wear it once. One time. Because next Easter, she's going to be fucking 2 times that size. It's not going to fit her. Well, it's not going to fit her in 30 days, let alone next fucking Easter.
Unless she's one of those kids who likes to live in their favorite outfit.
And what's the deal with 15 million types of fucking Easter baskets?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we've got the classic woven, okay? Then you've got these
plastic.
Then you've got dogs with floppy ears. You've got the chicks. You've got
Did you see the mushroom
bunnies.
ones?
I didn't see mushroom ones.
Yes, at my store. I don't know if your store had them.
I'm sure we did.
But they
just didn't.
You know what the quintessential mushroom with the red cap and the white dots? Yeah, we had.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I mean, there's at least 30 different types.
Yeah.
Like, and then when did soccer balls and dodgeballs become something that you give at Easter? Like there are, you know how they have the pre-made baskets?
Well, because it's become like Christmas. You give the kid something they want. And I know the baskets you're talking about because I rang up quite a few of them today.
That's sheer, first of all, the pre-made, sheer laziness.
I had a woman come through my line today that had 4 different Easter baskets in her cart. Each one was bigger than the one before it. So you started with a little teeny one, and then slightly bigger, and then slightly bigger, and the last one was the one with like the 6 different sports balls in it.
You know, they're so obviously those are kids of different age, I would assume.
I would hope.
Yeah. Or, you know, you're my least favorite. You can. But like you're setting a precedence.
Right.
At that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, so when I'm bigger, I'm going to get a bigger basket. Right. Well, your ass could be broke when they're bigger.
Right.
And you now are disappointing that child.
Right.
Anyway. But, yeah, I don't... It's the same. You're right. It's the same with all of them. The only one that I'm really okay with it being commercialized is Halloween. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of there
because
too.
It doesn't get enough credit and.
Well, no, and Christmas is completely trying to take over Halloween's territory.
Oh yeah,
Halloween seriously needs to fight back.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have Christmas stuff out in fucking September. Why?
And like we kind of sort of completely
we haven't even
gloss
finished
over
Memorial Day,
and we completely gloss over Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there's a couple little displays of, but yeah.
Anyway, we're going to dial it back a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Ostara, which is the pagan festival of the spring equinox. which in the Southern Hemisphere is celebrated in September, sometime between the 20th and the 23rd. Again, it changes because it is astronomical. It's based on when the light is going to be completely balanced with the dark. So when we're having Ostara, Southern Hemisphere is having Mabon. When we're having Mabon, we're having Ostara. But it's also known as Spring Equinox, the rites of spring, Eostra's Day or Ustra's Day, Alban Eiler.
I like Ustra.
Ustra. That sounds. I love the way that
sexy.
sounds. It does sound sexy. It sounds very springtime. The vernal equinox, the March equinox, Lady Day. I don't know that one.
Lady Day?
Yeah, I don't know where that one. Or
There's
Bacchanalia.
a joke in there somewhere.
Which, if you are very familiar with Roman mythology, Bacchus is the Roman equivalent to Dionysus.
Oh, no, not Lady Boy. Sorry. Didn't mean to throw you off. I'm twisted. Y'all just ignore me.
Bacchus is the Roman equivalent of the Greek Dionysus, who is the god of wine and debauchery.
Again, why do we need a god for wine? Didn't we talk about this in the Greek pantheon?
Because the pantheon is so messed up, we need the wine.
I was talking to one of my coworkers, another front end person, who's very, well, I mean, she goes to church. Mm-hmm. So religious, spiritual in a religious sense. And I mentioned the podcast, and it was funny. It just trying to explain to her without, because you don't know who's going to be offended by what.
Right.
And granted, it is my religious freedom. I can believe in whatever I want.
Correct.
However, there are certain things that you want to be careful talking about. Mm-hmm. Religion, politics, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So it was interesting, looking back at the conversation as if I was a third person view of me trying to dance around saying what needed to be said in a non-offensive way, when really what I wanted to just say is, you guys fucking stole our holiday and then persecuted us for celebrating our holiday. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
I told you.
So, Ostara marks the first true day of spring. Hours of day and night are equal. Light is overtaking the darkness. So from that point on, from the day of Ostara, basically daylight becomes longer, nighttime becomes shorter, up until we get to Mabon, where they're back in balance again.
But then the night starts to become longer.
Yes, at Mabon. So basically all creatures are impelled to reproduce, which is why you see a lot of...
Well, it's a time of husbandry and what they call husbandry. But it's basically breeding.
Yes.
Again, fertility and rebirth.
So if you've ever seen Bambi, the time when they start to reproduce...
That was springtime. Bambi was born during spring. His mama was killed in June.
But this is a time of beginnings, of action, planting spells for future gains, tending to your ritual gardens if you have one.
And back to planting spell. This is a perfect time of year for... Now, there are money spells and abundance spells where you plant a seed.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that at any time of year.
Right.
Okay? However, this is the optimal time of year.
Yes.
I mean, like, if you really want to put some energy into a growing spell or a growth spell, abundance spell using a seed, this is the time to do it.
Yes. In fact, one of my favorite spells, which does use the growth of a seed, is actually a new job spell. Like, you plant with the seed, you plant a piece of paper that basically says everything you're looking for in your next dream job.
And
like
that paper feeds it as it rots.
Yes. And as you tend to the seed, as that seed grows, your potential to reach that dream
I would think
grows.
it would be better to use pencil for that, would it not? Rather than an artificial ink.
Probably, yes.
Yeah. I'm just throwing, I mean, I realize it's lead, but it's not lead like lead pipes.
Right.
It's a different type
It's
of
graphite.
lead. Right, graphite.
Right.
What we call lead. But
What,
it's a natural
the spell that I usually use, though, when I actually perform it, you use a green ink.
Yeah, money.
So, but yes, I would think that graphite would probably be better because it's a more natural source.
Well, yeah, well, I'm just thinking of, well, the plant's going to
Feed off
absorb that chemical.
Unless you make your own plant-based
ink.
But, I mean, I'm just saying,
She would do that. And I would think it's cool, but yes, I'm still going to make fun of it. Not make fun of, but, well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he'd totally make fun of me.
But it's cool. But I wouldn't have thought of that. Anyway, go ahead.
So, foods for this time of year are going to be anything seed-based, like anything with sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, pine
Somebody
nuts.
brought a poppy seed cake to work today.
So y'all got high?
It would take a lot more than... But yeah, I mean, that would be... You would definitely fuck up a test anyway. And for those of you... No, you don't actually. You can. Look it up. Yeah, but I didn't even think of that. The person... Now, I don't know that the person brought it is Wiccan. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she's not. But I find it interesting that was...
Poppy seed cake was her choice of...
For Easter to bring to share with people at Easter time. Because it's a seed-based... Yeah,
right.
Anyway, okay. Light went off, sorry.
Yeah, you're also going to look for things like leafy green vegetables, so kale, romaine lettuce, spinach.
I like that.
I love spinach. Flour dishes such as stuffed nasturtiums.
What?
Nasturtiums. It's a type of flour, and they are actually very tasty.
So are daisies and dandelions. I'm not gonna fucking munch on them like it's a fucking salad.
Well, okay then. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but stuffed mushrooms would probably work too. Carnation cupcakes.
The magic kind?
No.
Carnation? Whoa.
Carnation cupcakes.
What do you mean, carnation? Do you make a cupcake with the center of the carnation? I mean,
No,
how do you...
you bake a cupcake and then you decorate it like you frost it like you would a normal cupcake, and then you take a carnation petal and basically put
just
it on
the
top.
petal?
Yeah.
Not the whole...
No, not the whole flower.
Because that would be cool.
I mean, that would be cool. But you just basically take a petal and...
Could you imagine me taking in a bunch of carnation cupcake, but the whole fucking flower on top of it to work? John,
what are you doing?
what are these? Yeah.
These are special cupcakes. But you're also going to look for things like eggs, obviously, honey, sprouts like alfalfa sprouts, Brussels
Honey
sprouts.
would make sense too. I'm
Yeah.
surprised I didn't find anything on that. It's not like honey is a new thing.
Dandelion greens, strawberries, spring veggies. Yeah.
That spring mix sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
who the
know.
fuck thought of that spring mix for salads. But
Well, I think, at least in my experience, it's just that
they're bitter as hell.
they are bitter as hell, but they also taste like dirt.
They're earthy.
No, they taste like dirt. Because they are not washed off properly. They taste like dirt.
No, even when they're washed off properly, they taste like earth, which is not a bad thing, but
There's a difference between earthy and dirt. Okay. In most cases, when I go to a restaurant and I ask for their whatever their spring mix is, it tastes like dirt. But
I know.
But if I go to, like, I think the only place I've ever been to where their spring mix does not taste like dirt is Cafe Zupa's. And it tastes earthy. It tastes like greens, a little bit heavier on, like, the iron content, maybe?
Don't like arugula.
Arugula. Okay.
And that's what's in a lot of spring mixes.
It is. It is.
And it's heavy in the spring mix.
It is.
It's like 3-1 on the other stuff.
Arugula.
It looks like the fucking... Have you ever looked at one of the... It looks like, you know, that crazy cross?
Mm-hmm.
With the
Yeah.
It looks like one of those freaking...
Mm-hmm.
Which may be why it's included.
So,
You
back
think
when I
I'm
was-
crazy. It may be why it's included.
So when I was having to take my botany class, one of the plants that we were surprised with was arugula, and she told us to taste it, and my stupid ass didn't just put a little bit at the end of my tongue and chew it up and spit it out. No, I took a whole freaking leaf.
Excuse me.
And popped it in my mouth and was chewing it.
You knew what it was going to be like.
No,
Why
I did not. I did not. Because she didn't tell us what it was.
You could...
She didn't tell us what... Part of the assignment was to... Bless you. Was
Excuse
to
me.
identify the plant.
You could have done that by looking at it.
I didn't know how yet.
No, I just meant by looking at the...
Well, no. I
Huh.
didn't know how yet.
Wow.
But...
Excuse me, guys.
When I put it in my mouth, like, everybody else in class, I guess, was, like, looking at me or something. But I was like, you know, oh, what is this? Oh, what is it? Bless it. Bless you. It tasted, you know how, like, when we do our chicken, we do salt, pepper, garlic, and
The
onion?
11 herbs and seasonings that we stole from KFC. Yep.
That's basically what, like, imagine that on your tongue, and you have, like, you're not expecting it.
Okay.
It basically, like, exploded on my tongue and was just like, pop, 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 oh, and it tasted like chicken.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't really have a pleasant relationship with arugula. But yes, arugula is a plant or food that you would want to have right about now.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry we got off topic. But the themes for Ostara are basically balance, renewal, beginnings, hope, and new possibilities. It is the first solar Sabbath of the year. Because, you know, you have the fire festivals and then you have, like, the Esbits, which are the moon festivals, the full moons. But you also have the cross quarters. And this is the actual first solar Sabbath of the year. Its colors include yellow, light green, pink, robin egg blue. So, like, the pastel colors.
And ironically, the Easter colors for eggs and clothing are
the pastel colors: mint green, pastel pink, robin
blue, with the dots, with the
dots,
which is also interesting how like we do decorations like that. Not just color the eggs, but they'll do fucking Charlie Brown. I've seen Charlie Brown eggs.
Yep.
The yellow shirt with the fucking brown. But anyway, yeah.
Stones that you would want to incorporate for Ostara include amethyst, aquamarine, jasper, moonstone, and rose quartz. Herbs that you would want to use at this time of year are Irish moss, lemongrass, meadowsweet, which is also a very good pain reliever. That's where we first got the idea for aspirin.
What's it called?
Meadowsweet. So aspirin comes from the original Latin name for meadowsweet, which is Asperia something or other, but now it's Filipendula. Catnip, spearmint, cleavers. Cleavers live up to their name, by the way. They have little hooks on them. If you walk through them, they will hook onto you and they will cleave to you. What?
Feline marijuana is on the list, but freaking cannabis is not?
Yes, feline.
Anyway.
Good feeling herb is on there. Dogwood, ash, and woodruff, which I have no idea what that is.
What?
Woodruff.
I've heard of it, but I don't know.
I've heard of it. I've never used it, though. Flowers associated with this time of year are daffodils, honeysuckle, iris, violet, Easter lilies or white lilies, roses, dandelions, tulips, and lilacs.
Well, see, again, with the whole assimilation of the holiday, eggs and rabbits or hares are obvious with fertility, but like the lily, the white lily, I mean, I know I mentioned it there, but it really was like, it was the symbol, like the moon is the symbol of the goddess. The white lily was too.
Right.
Anyway.
Incense that you can use this time of year for Ostara include jasmine, rose, lotus, violet, magnolia, ginger, sage.
Magnolias.
Oh, magnolia is so beautiful.
That's one of and now it's not native to Florida, I don't think, but growing up in Florida and doing lawn service, I love doing a yard with a fucking magnolia bush. Oh, it was just like heaven sent for the entire time I was there. Even if they weren't in full bloom, it just...
The smell, the scent.
Anyway.
You can also use strawberry or lemon incense. Decorations for this time of year would include things like spring flowers, seeds, potted plants, or seedlings.
Eggs.
Colored eggs, rabbits and hares, birds, pinwheels, yellow discs to represent the sun.
Yellow what?
Discs to represent the sun.
Well, I thought you said something else. Go ahead.
And other solar symbols and imagery, but also ladybugs and bumblebees.
Well, yeah.
Because, spring.
I'm surprised hummingbirds aren't in it.
Yeah, I kind of am too. But
it was salt or something.
Okay. Anyway.
When you reached over to...
Okay.
Anyway.
So, I mean, that's pretty much all I have for Ostara.
Yeah. Now, please keep in mind, if you are watching this and are Wicca curious, but still very much into your religious belief, we have nothing against you.
Nope.
Your historic benefactors, though, stole our holidays to persuade our ancestors to join their faith. denying that is just ridiculous. We love you. Enjoy your holiday. Happy Easter to you. And as I said to everybody at work today, Happy Ostara.
Yes.
And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Easter Sunday. And if you're off tomorrow, good for you. We're not. Do not. Well, I won't say don't come to our store because I could get. Well, no, we've never said where we work.
Nope.
Stay home.
And if you happen to be in the Phoenix area, we are going to be at the Queen Creek Community Festival on April 13th, representing Three Sisters Botanicals, which is my clinical herbalist practice. So if you happen to be in the area, stop by, say hi, and maybe win a prize.
And maybe, I mean, what's the, do you have electricity? Do you have electrical outlet?
Not that I know of. Why?
Well, I was just thinking we could have the various podcasts or videos running in the background. Just running.
Yeah.
That would be a cool thing to do.
I mean,
anyway, it's an idea. Meet us there. Love to meet you.
Yep. Peace out, witches.
Peace.